Welcome, everybody, to the Redzone Report, brought to you by Picasso's Pizza, right here on the Built-in Buffalo YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter channels. I don't live in Buffalo, but when I go to Buffalo, I take my butt over to Picasso's. Please enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to the Redzone Report, brought to you by Picasso's Pizza, right here on the Built-in Buffalo YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it. Let me go ahead and adjust my camera. I accidentally just knocked it down, and this makes me look fat, so let's pull it up. There we go. My face is up here. Boom. All right, everybody, so today we're going to talk about the free agent signings and how the Bills are starting to fill out their roster, right? A lot of us have been concerned about specific positions on the Buffalo Bills because we lost a bunch of guys. And I see Sandra L. King in the comments already. Let's go, Buffalo. You are correct, mademoiselle. We're going to talk about the Bills' newest additions. We've already talked about the Curtis Samuels. We've already talked about, the Curtis Samuel and everybody before him. How about that? We've already talked about those guys. Ty Johnson, the extensions of Taron Johnson and Deion Dawkins are a beautiful thing that's helping the Buffalo Bills in their cap situation. And now the Buffalo Bills have made a few more signings, and we're going to talk about these players and their roles on the team. I'm going to go in order of the last one signed to the last one that I have talked about signed, right? And so the first one that we're going to talk about, what up, Kim? How you doing? Good to see you, baby. Welcome back to the show. Hang on. I understand Blackman has a standing offer from Buffalo. If he does, cool. Competition is what I want, and I think that'll affect the draft. What up, my man, Jacob? Sorry I missed your call yesterday. I'll try and call you back if I can today, if not tomorrow. But, yeah, let's talk 716 Sports. Let's go. Let's go, Robbie. All right. Hey, Izzy, what's going on? It's Robbie. Go Bills. I didn't even read the comment. I knew it was you, buddy. These are some of my friends that I actually speak to on a regular basis, Robbie and Jacob. And Sandra, hello, Izzy. I'm ready. Bean said there's a possibility that Trey could come back. I saw that right before the show, and that excites me because I love Trey White. He's my guy. I love Trey White. I have his jersey. I wear it on game days. Now I have to find another jersey because I like wearing current player jerseys. But, we'll adjust fire when it's time to. All right. So the first player we're going to talk about is defensive lineman, the newest addition to the Buffalo Bills, Austin Johnson. Now, the news was broken by none other than Daquan Jones, our starting one-tech defensive tackle. Let me go ahead and crack this Pepsi and pour it. So, Austin Johnson and Daquan Jones have history. They played together at the Tennessee Titans for a while, many years ago. And the last couple of years, Austin Johnson has been a LA Charger. So he's been with the Chargers for a couple of years, and he's not been great with the Chargers, but then again, the Chargers have been kind of a dumpster fire. Now, do I think that he is going to be a major player on the Buffalo Bills? I think that he is going to be an upgrade over Jordan Phillips as a one-tech second guy. I think that in the rotation, he's going to be an upgrade over the guys that we were rotating in before. And I personally believe, I got to fix my edge up. Oof, I'll fix that later. I think that Daquan posted it on X. John Robert, I see your comment. And as a backup to Daquan. They're about the same size, 200, 315 pounds ish, right? And I see Austin Johnson as a rotational fit. I think he's going to be fine. We needed another one tech, and one techs are kind of the harder ones to find. Like they're three techs are out there. You can find a 290-pound guy all day every day that plays defensive tackle in the NFL or plays defensive end in a 3-4 that you can move to the inside in a 4-3. But Austin Johnson is a big guy. He is a big guy. And I see Roy Collins saying Austin Johnson isn't quite the athlete Daquan is as far as QB pressures go, but he's fine against the run. And that's true. He's a run stuffer. So you may see times where the Bills believe it's a run play and they rotate him in there just because Daquan might need a break. You'll still see him on some passing downs because you don't want to be too predictable with your players. But at the same time, I see him being more of a role on those big bodies needed run plays. You may even see him and Daquan out there same time on like a 4th and 1, to get the first down, like a tush push situation or something like that. You'll see the two big fatties right there in the middle, to just end a drive. That's what he's here for. He's here to be that auxiliary run stuffing defensive tackle behind Daquan Jones. Right? And then I like the fact that they went after him. They went and got him. He probably didn't cost a whole lot of money. I haven't looked at his contract yet, but I can. I have another computer right here in front of you guys, and this is my older laptop. I got it working, and now this is what I'll be doing my draft simulator on and everything, so that way I don't have to go back and forth on different screens. I'm so glad I fixed this thing. I put an SSD in it. It's beautiful. But now I can do whatever research I want right here and see what he got signed to. I believe it was a 1-year deal, but I could be wrong. Yeah, 1-year deal worth up to $4 million with the Buffalo Bills. So, yeah, I'm happy with this signing. It works for me, right? And it doesn't even have to work for me, but it's my show, so I get to say that. I'm going to go ahead and close that shade. The sun was too much. It's too much. All right, and Roy Collins dropped it in the comments: $3.5 million with incentives up to $4 million. I'll take that. And it does say worth up to $4 million for him here. So 1-year deal. If he proves that he can, play well, he's younger than Daquan, so he could be a guy that they sign long term to be a rotational defensive tackle. We rotate on defense. It's just how McDermott works. But I like the pickup. I like the fact that he's on a decent salary, and he's not going to hurt the cap too much. That to me makes a lot of sense. Let me see what we got here. Spot Track doesn't have anything on his guarantees, so don't know anything about that, but it's a good pickup, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to be a rotational defensive tackle. I'm kind of going to breeze through these a little bit because we all know at the end we like to do our mock draft. I got to make sure that we're on time for dinner. All my kids are not home right now, so me and the wife probably grab some takeout. It'd be a wonderful thing. Let's see. After getting 6 inches of snow yesterday, it was nice to see the sun here today. Yeah, look, the sun's been out here this week in North Carolina. It's been a weird weather week here, right? We on Monday or Tuesday, excuse me, my first day back to work, because every other weekend I have a 3-day weekend, and then this weekend I'm only off today. And it just alternates like that. Just Sunday, then Saturday, Sunday, Monday for me. I think that I noticed the weather a lot more at my older age. And so that on Tuesday, when I went outside and I saw the sun, I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to wear a short sleeve shirt. Well, luckily I keep a jacket in the car because it was sunny, but it was 48 degrees. I was like, geez, okay. Weather doesn't know what it wants to be. But I notice it a lot more now that I'm getting older. I'll be 40 this year, so now you guys know how old I am. August 10th, sending gifts. But anyway, yeah, DL or defensive lineman Austin Johnson, solid pickup for the Bills. Ain't mad at it. it definitely helps us out going into the draft, and that's we all know I do the mock drafts, right? So the Bills appear to be doing something, and I'm gonna cover it after we finish all these and before we do the draft. The Bills are doing some interesting things here. Now, before the Austin Johnson signing, they signed also, I believe, a former Charger, Will Clapp. Okay, Will Clapp is a interior offensive lineman, right? He's going to be basically replacing Ryan Bates as of now, right? There's no telling if the Buffalo Bills don't decide to draft somebody and he's in competition for a roster spot, or if Alec Anderson, who's on the team right now, is somebody who's going to be competing with him for the roster spot, or however they look at him. Maybe I think he's a backup center, so that could eliminate the need to draft a center. He's been very good in auxiliary, roles where somebody goes down. I think he started 12 games last year. Man, Roy Collins, I remember being 40, dude. It's weird. Let's see. I like what I've seen so far. No big moves, which is expected. Yeah, look, I'm with you here. No big moves. We didn't expect any big moves. They're basically just filling out the roster right now. And the moves are fine moves, right? We have most of our starters already on the roster, especially on offense. On defense, we also have most of our starters: Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, Matt Milano, Terrell Bernard, Rasul Douglas, and Christian Benford. Those are our most likely starters. The only ones that we aren't sure about at starting on defense is the safeties. And I think we're pretty sure right now Taylor Rapp is going to hold down the former Jordan Poyer role, the strong safety, box safety, run covering safety. And as of right now, we signed somebody who's going to cover the other spot, potentially. John Robert confirms. Will Clapp has played center and guard, correct? But Will Clapp's in here most likely to be a backup center first. And then he also did a lot of the David Edwards, extra tight end, jumbo tight end role where he, you have extra yards in the run game. It's, 3rd and 2, and you need the extra yardage, so you put in the other big fat guy for you, and he just blocks, right? He's just a blocking tight end in that role. So being that David Edwards is now most likely a starting guard for us, I see this guy as taking that role there too. Now, Alec Anderson, we don't know anything about, really. He's been on the team for a little while. He's been a backup. He hasn't seen the field much. Last year, all 5 of our offensive linemen who were starters played every single game and started every single game. We had massive consistency there. We moved on from Mitch Morse. David Edwards is usually a healthy guy. Not a lot of injury concerns there. Connor McGovern was healthy all last year. Osiris Torrance, the rookie. Deion Dawkins. And thank God for the health of Spencer Brown. That guy, after the first 2 years of his career, the first one being his rookie year, having a hard time, which who wouldn't, as a 3rd-round tackle out of, Iowa or Iowa State? Northern Iowa? One of the Iowas. Known for making big blockers. And then staying healthy this year after back surgery last year. He's apparently having surgery this offseason, so, prayers for him. Complete it. But yeah, the offensive line was fine. And so getting a nice reserve interior offensive lineman like Will Clapp, very good move. And the memes were hilarious. Let's be real. They had, Will Clapp out there, and I made a bunch of jokes, not all of them appropriate for this family environment. So we'll go ahead and keep moving from that. But yeah, Will Clapp, not a lot to say there. Played a lot. Has seen plenty of snaps at guard and center, and I'm happy to have him as a Buffalo Bill. Again, not a starter, not a big splash move. However, a move worth noting. Will Clapp. Let's check out his contract real quick. See if they have the guarantees and everything out yet. Signed a 4-year, $2.53 million deal. He went to Louisiana State, and his guarantees are not yet out there either. So you're messing around. You're messing around, Spot Track. You better get your numbers right. Previous to this signing, got some comments. Let's go. See, Deion Dawkins about to step up more with Morse gone. I don't know how true that is because he doesn't play next to Mitch. He plays next to McGovern last year, and now he's going to be playing next to Edwards, who is a starting caliber guard. Let's be real. He's a starting caliber guard. If he wasn't here on someone other team, he would have been competing for a starting job. But because we had McGovern here and just drafted Torrance, he wasn't going to start. Now that we've moved on from Mitch Morse, we moved McGovern in the center, which a lot of people are concerned about. I'm not so much. We still have a starting caliber guard to go in there. My only concern is they're going to have to redo the whole gelling process of the offensive line is not the same as it was last year, so they're going to have to learn each other. But luckily, 4 out of the 5 guys are still the same guys. And it's also interesting to note that the 2 Connor McGoverns that are in the NFL both play center. That's pretty interesting. In the same division, might I add. So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. The clap is brutal. Wait, we were talking about the football player. That's not what I meant by not clean for this show, but that's even worse than what my jokes were. Oh, Jesus. Roy, I bet you missed 40. You know where my mind is, and it was in the right stratosphere, but it was not in the, it went the other direction. It went, yeah. Oh, right. Mine had something to do with, all right. But Will Clapp, good addition. Now, before we signed him, we signed safety Mike Edwards, who played for the Chiefs. He saw some time last year. He's a good reserve safety from what we know, right? He's not exactly known as a starting caliber safety. We don't know really because he hasn't done it yet. However, he's played and he's played well. Is he great? No. Is he serviceable? Yes. Were Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde great before they got here? No. So there's no telling. This guy could come in here and he's more of a downfield safety like Micah Hyde. He's in that Micah Hyde type of role. And if no moves are made or if a safety is not drafted early enough or if they can't beat him out for the job, he'll be that Micah Hyde safety, that free safety, roaming the middle deep and covering the deep parts of the field. And I think he's good at that. I've seen some plays from him. I've seen some film. I wouldn't say I'm impressed, but I am also not discouraged at all. I think that he is a very serviceable player, and I think that that's a good pickup just in case you can't find somebody in the draft or in case someone like Julian Blackman does not sign with the Bills. Now, if Julian Blackman signs for the Bills, he is taking that Micah Hyde role. Last year, he had an awesome freaking year, and I would love to see them sign Julian Blackman, but I think he's looking to see if he can get more money or a better, a better deal, or at least a team comparable to Buffalo where they're a contender at least, and he can go and get maybe a little bit better money, and that's fine. It's up to him. It's his career. Do your thing, man. But if the door's open for him, I'm glad it is. I'm very glad it is. But Mike Edwards, solid pickup, and he is the newest addition to the secondary of the Buffalo Bills. Let's see what we got here. His contract, 1 year, $3 million, $2.48 million guaranteed, and he was guaranteed that at signing. So he's probably making the team. He's probably making the team. They're not going to eat all that money. Not on a year like this where we need every cent. So watch out for that. Yeah, there's some other people on the team that can be cut that I see being cut later on, like a Tommy Doyle, potentially a DeMar Hamlin. I know people are not exactly happy with the idea of cutting DeMar Hamlin, but there's also the fact that there are some people who are like, he didn't earn a spot on the team. And, I'm not going to get into all that, but he's a potential cut. Or he also is still practice squad eligible. So there's that. We could see DeMar Hamlin on the practice squad unless some other team picks him up. It's a good Pepsi. Are you saying the safety position is becoming kind of like running back position? What say you? Yes. When it comes to the market value of safeties, yes, it kind of is. Because safety is like a watered down corner, but it's also kind of like a linebacker. It's kind of in between those two. And linebackers actually kind of doing that too. Like look at the guy we signed, Nick Moreau, right? Nicholas Moreau. he played pretty well last year. Nicholas Moreau had a solidly year last year, and there wasn't much of a market for him, which is surprising to me because I thought he played pretty well. He started a lot of games for the Eagles last year, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull up his PFF. I know not everybody cares. So he says Hamlin wants to play in Pittsburgh. Well, I mean, send him home. I wouldn't mind that at all. I know he's a Steelers fan. If I was a Bills fan and I was in his situation, I would like to be traded to my hometown team. That'd be great. But yeah, the market for safeties is kind of doing that thing, and I think eventually the wide receiver market is going to be doing the same thing. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think that your average wide receiver, your wide receiver 3s and 4s, their numbers are going to start coming down, right? The way wide receivers are being trained in high school and middle school, right, before they get to college, playing 7-on-7, you're going to see a lot more wide receivers pumped out that can play, and they're probably going to become kind of a dime a dozen. It's really a how do you say a factory position now. Like, well, they're just pumping them out. The same thing's going on with safeties. So you have people who played linebacker in college, but they're too small, but they're fast, moving to safety, coming to the NFL. You've got corners moving to safety. You got running backs moving to safety if they're, not cutting it, if they fumble too much or whatever it is, but they learn. Remember George Wilson for the Bills? He was a wide receiver. What did he do? He converted to safety. He played well for us for a few years. And that's a fine way to go about it, but their market is just not going to be super high unless you're really young and really, really talented, like a Budda Baker. Like it's the market for them is just not going to be up there with the wide receivers, and the defensive tackle market's crazy, man. But it's because interior penetration is so important, not because quarterbacks are so important, right? And there's nothing worse for a quarterback than having somebody who's 315 pounds busting through the middle, sprinting at you while you're trying to throw a ball. So Nick Moreau's PFF numbers here. Let's see if I can't share this with you guys. Stop that one and share this one here. He doesn't get the love I think he deserves, right? But he's a linebacker, so he's not going to get that. This is Nick Moreau. Overall grade, 71.5. Run defense, 75.6. Pass rush, 81.1. Coverage, 62.6. These are all very solid grades for a guy who's going to be a rotational guy on our team. What did he get as a deal? He didn't get a lot of money. He's here to be a backup to Matt Milano. Technically not. He's here to be a backup to Terrell Bernard, because Matt Milano's backup is who? Dorian Williams. So we're getting guys at positions that are being devalued by the NFL, and safety is one of them. Safety, linebacker, running back, fullback, obviously, right? And then any backup is kind of, The glory positions where you're getting paid a lot: quarterback, wide receiver, defensive tackle, defensive end, corner, and some tight ends. If you're one of the elite tight ends, if you're Travis Kelce or Kittle or Edwards, if you're one of these big tight ends, you're going to get paid. Nose get stuffed up a little bit. All right. So, moving on. Mike Edwards, he has a starting role right now, as of now. But we'll see what happens in the draft, and we will see what happens if a Julian Blackmon comes in. But if a Julian Blackmon does come in, then you're going to see Edwards kind of be that reserve safety for both of those two guys, or the third safety, the big nickel guy. Actually, I think I see more of the big nickel in Taylor Rapp. He'll probably move down to that big nickel spot like Jordan Poyer did for us last year with Edwards and Blackmon, or whatever rookie comes in. That's the way I see his role there. As of right now, he's a starting free safety. Now, last guy on the list that we signed since the Nick Moreau and the Curtis Samuel signing was defensive end Casey Toohill. Now, Casey Toohill is not a wow free agent. However, the potential's there. The potential is there. Casey Toohill is an interesting prospect. The reason why he's an interesting prospect because his RAS score was very, very, very good. He's a motor guy. He comes off the edge and he does not stop trying. He gets a lot of cleanup sacks when he is in. He's probably going to see 30 to 40% of the snaps, like AJ Epinesa has the past few years. You're going to see AJ Epinesa's play percentage go up. He's usually right around 40, 45%. That's going to go up from total, snaps, snap percentage. With Casey Toohill, he's going to take over most likely that AJ Epinesa role, unless of course we draft somebody. And this is going to come to the point that I'm going to make after this. Let's see. Casey Toohill, RAS. Here we go. So his relative athletic score was a 9.69, which the top score you can get is a 10. It's a 10. Right? Explosive grade is elite. I'm going to share this with you guys. Because I have this pulled up too. Boom. This is his RAS score. Let me focus in on that. And let me zoom in. Right? His athletic grades are through the freaking roof. And he played behind Chase Young in Washington, which I see the comment here from Joey Hatch. I'm not trying to steal your thunder here, buddy. Right? Toohill sat behind Chase Young for a few years. When he got his chance last year, he made the most of it. And he has a motor that just don't quit. That's a fact. That's a fact. He had five sacks last year, and he was an auxiliary player behind Chase Young until they traded Chase Young at the trade deadline. After that, he had 8 games to play, and he got 5 sacks. Not bad. Look, in an entire year with us, Mario Addison had 5.5 sacks, okay? At one point, A.J. Klein and Mario Addison tied for the lead on this team in sacks with 5.5 each. This guy had 5 last year in half a season. Now, am I saying he's going to be great? No. But the potential is there. He has potential. He has the athletic tools to do it. He's just got to achieve it. He's got to actually put work in, get the skills down, the technique, and maybe this guy could be an 8-sack-a-year guy. Maybe he can be an 8-sack-a-year guy. Maybe he can be a guy who gets you, 10 sacks, 1 out of every 3 years. I think the rotational value of Casey Toohill is very good, and that's what they're going for right now. They're looking at guys who are going to be able to rotate in with their starters, and I think that you're going to see a lot of the big roles that may need refreshing be taken in the draft, like wide receiver, like defensive tackle, like edge rusher. You're probably going to see an edge rusher drafted. And this brings me to the point that I said I had to make. And I made this point in our Built-in Buffalo group chat, right? The Buffalo Bills, I also said it to my Bills Mafia International guys, who are also great. I've been with that Facebook group for a while. I helped tend that page. So Bills Mafia International. If you want to join that page, join it. If you want to join the Built-in Buffalo Facebook page, join it. If you want to join Built-in Buffalo and subscribe, please like, share, and subscribe on this video. But the point that I made about the Buffalo Bills moves currently, they are currently hedging their bets, right? The Buffalo Bills are hedging their bets. What do I mean by that? They're selecting players that in a pinch, if you need them to start, they can play, right? Casey Toohill, if you need him to start, he can play. Austin Johnson, if you need him to start, he can play. Mike Edwards, if you need him to start, he can play. Nicholas Moreau, if you need him to start, he can play. Will Clapp, if you need him to start, he started like 12 games last year. Will Clapp. Granted, it was on the Chargers, and they suck. But he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. And these guys, if you need them to start, if something happens, like last year when we had injuries, we had a lot of them, man. We have a lot of them. And that's a tough one. You got to deal with, injury after injury, especially at linebacker last year for us. That was a tough one to deal with, especially when when Milano went down. And then our backup middle linebacker at the time, Tyrell Dodson, comes in. He played excellent, but then he got hurt. And that's where Bernard got hurt. And then we're out there with A.J. Klein and an injured Tyrell Dodson. It's not a good spot to be in. It's not a good spot to be in. Last year, Casey Toohill had 5 sacks, 8 hurries, 15 pressures, 2 QB hits, 11 solo tackles, and 8 assisted tackles. It's in half a season. We'll clap. Will Clapp allowed 1 sack. He allowed 6 hits and 24 total pressures. He played at center 699 snaps. That's a lot. For a backup, it's a lot of snaps. He saw a lot of time. And the Buffalo Bills picking up Curtis Samuel means that in the draft, you don't necessarily need to draft a wide receiver. Now, we all want one. We do. I'm not going to lie. I want one. I want a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds. Right? Somewhere in those first 3 rounds, I want a wide receiver. Now, if the guy that they want doesn't fall to them in the first, or if they can't find a trade partner and go get somebody, like let's say they love Brian Thomas Jr. and they want to move up to 22 to go get him, but the team that's at 22 is like, no, we're drafting him. Then, you're stuck, right? And then at that point, you're probably going to see a run on receivers. So you might try and get to 23, 24. Maybe those guys are like, no, we need them too. So then you wait. You fall back. But what does that mean if there's a run on receivers? That means that somebody else like a Johnny Newton might be there, or Byron Murphy, or now that we have another one tech in the house, I don't know if Tavondre Sweat's really going to be a guy that they look at in the first round, because I have a second round grade on him. So I wouldn't reach on him now, especially now that I have another one tech. But if Byron Murphy falls there, I'm taking him. He's probably the best defensive tackle in the draft, but everybody needs offense. And so Brandon Beane usually tries to take the best player available that's at a position of need most of the time. Now, if the team doesn't have a lot of needs, then it's best player available, period. And I think that defensive end and defensive tackle are going to be on the board in round 1. I think a trade back is also there. I think people are slipping on this, but I think that the Buffalo Bills may actually pick more players in the draft this year than they have picks. I did a mock draft. And in my mock draft, let's see. In my mock draft, I did a lot of trades. And we're gonna do a mock draft with us too. So don't get me wrong here. Right. Screen. This is the one I was doing before the show, just for fun, to kind of warm up for the show. I traded my first round pick, number 28, to the Commanders. What in the world? Okay, I traded my first round pick to the Commanders, my second round pick to the Commanders, and my 5th round pick, 144, right? 28, 60, and 144. And I got 36, 40, and 67, right? So moved back 8 spots, moved up 20, and then moved up again in the same trade, like 70 picks. Like 70, 80 picks. I ended up trading again in the second round to move back only 3 picks and then get another 3rd round pick. I also picked up some 7th round picks the next year. Don't care. I would have moved back 3 picks anyway to get another pick, especially a 3rd. To move back 3 picks in the second round, yeah, hell yeah, sign me up. 40 to 43, and I get a 3rd round pick as well. Sign me up. I traded again at 43 to 49. Got another 4th and a 6th. I traded a whole lot. This is my draft. I drafted Troy Franklin at 36. Defensive lineman Chris Jenkins at 49. Defensive end Marshawn Nealand at 67 from Western Michigan. 82, Cameron Kitchens. 115, Jalen Wright, running back from Tennessee. 117, Cole Bishop, safety from Utah. So I doubled up on safeties. 128, interior offensive lineman, Mason McCormick. 136, offensive tackle, Roger Rosengarten from Washington. Kalen Carson, cornerback from Wake Forest at 147. Malik Washington, wide receiver from Virginia. I mean, there were some positions where I doubled and tripled down just to make sure that the Bills had players for the practice squad and for the roster. Ray Davis, running back from Kentucky. Who he's actually a big sleeper for me. He's a big sleeper for me. Ray Davis from Kentucky is nasty. Tight end Jaheim Bell from Florida State. Interior offensive lineman Isaiah Adams from Illinois. Linebacker Curtis Jacobs from Penn State. Running back Isaac Guerrero, who is 225 and ran a 4.31, by the way. Cornerback Johnny Dixon. Edge rusher Zion Tupuola Fatui. And then last pick, Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa. I went in on the trades, and I got players. 2 defensive tackles, 2 edge rushers, 2 safeties, 3 running backs I think I took. Yeah, 3 running backs. A linebacker, 2 interior offensive linemen. I think I got 2 tackles as well. Like, the Bills need a replenishment of youth on this team. They need a replenishment of youth on this team. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is through the draft. My man Roy Collins says 3 RBs, Bean would never. Look, if he had this many draft picks, he might. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 picks. I wasn't reaching on anything. I was taking whatever the best player available was that we really could use. And remember, a lot of these picks are in the 6th and 7th round. That's practice squad material right there, baby. You're looking at guys that you're going to send to the practice squad. Any safety we grab in the draft should be depth so he can learn. No way Bean drafts 3 running backs. If he's got 18 picks, he might. In my opinion, Bean doesn't leave the draft with no more than 9 picks. That's usually his standard, right? Usually he has a trade up somewhere, and we'll probably do 2 mock drafts, right? One where we trade up and one where we trade back. We'll do one my way and one your way, so to speak. So, yeah, I think that the Buffalo Bills have the opportunity right now to stuff the cupboards with inexpensive contracts that aren't going to hurt anything later. And with 18 picks like I drafted, you have a bigger chance of finding diamonds in the rough. You have a bigger chance of finding diamonds in the rough. To me, that's important too. You want to find those diamonds in the rough. Your Christian Benfords, your Matt Milanos. You want to find those guys, and you know what they say. You know, sometimes you throw enough crap at the wall and you see what sticks. It's a lot of crap at 18 picks. It's a lot. We have Cook and Ty, so we need one more for a 3rd string and for practice squad running back. Yeah, I'd say that. That's true. And one of them is going to get cut. Now, also remember, the practice squad has since been expanded to 16 guys, right? You could put 2 running backs on the practice squad. We did last year. We had 2 guys. We had Evans last year and Fournette, both on the practice squad. 2 running backs on the practice squad. It's possible. You could roll with 4 running backs if you wanted to. There's guys on this team that may no longer be part of the plan. You know, we all love this guy, our fullback, Mr. Gilliam. His time might run out depending on money. You know, they can save some money letting him go. Do you think that a guy like Isaac Guerrero, who's 225 pounds, could sub in at that? Or if you put Quentin Morris back there, or on certain plays where you're running Dalton Kincaid in line at tight end or out wide and you want a fullback in there, you can put Dawson Knox back there. He's become a very good blocker. See if you use it, your practice squad is an extension of the 53-man roster. If you use it right to pull the right players, it works perfectly. That's my point. That's exactly my point. If you get enough young rookies, you can fill that practice squad cupboard, and you can let go of some of these other guys that are just not gonna. You can let go of guys like Tommy Doyle and DeMar Hamlin. You know, drafting a corner like I did in the 5th round here gives you a little more flexibility on Kyer Elam if he doesn't work out. You know, I have faith that he could and probably should with the new secondary coach. But what if he doesn't? Well, if he doesn't, you then have another guy. You can then trade him, and you wouldn't be hurting. You'd have another guy ready to take his spot. And so I see your comment there, Roy. Gilliam is a cheap 4-phase special team player. Don't forget. Look, you're not lying. No one's going to forget that fumble he forced last year. I think it was against the Jets or the Patriots. It was a division game where he made a tackle and like that ball just squirted out as he was coming down. The Bills lit them up. So, yeah. So I like your thinking. Say drafting a good player is a 50-50 proposition. If you have 9 picks, you may get a 4 to 5 good players. With, say, 16 picks, you may get 8 to 9. Yeah, I mean, you may only get 4 to 5 too. But let's say you draft 9 of the players that you drafted, right, are still of the 16 that you would have drafted. The likeliness is your probability to get good players goes down, right? So if you have 16, you're going to have more shots at it. And yeah, so you get exactly what I'm saying. And good players come in every round. Every round. Puka Nacua last year, 5th round pick. You play the odds. He's not supposed to be as good as he was. 1,500 yards, that's insane. But he was that good. No one saw that coming, but there he was. And here he is now in the NFL. And if he continues that greatness, he's going to get paid. And he's already on pace if he continues to play at the level he's played at. He doesn't necessarily even have to get better, per se. If he stays right at the level he's at right now, puts up 1,400 to 1,500 yards a year, he could be one of the best wide receivers ever. And it's very early to say that. But just based on his numbers this year, if that trend continues, 1,500, 1,400, 1,300, 1,500 yards, just back to back to back to back to back, you know, it's real. It's real. But guys, we're going to go ahead and get to this mock draft. I'm going to use this site because the other one takes too long when the draft is over to load, and that annoys the crap out of me. So here we go, going into the mock draft. Let's see. Let's save this one. All right. Great mock draft. We're starting over. This will be the first one we do. And then we'll look at you guys after that. We're in a draft room. All right, so here we are. I will listen to suggestions. My man Ismail Valentin says, really feel it should be a wide receiver. If you trade down enough, maybe you can get 20 picks this time. Hey, the Bills need bodies, man. They need bodies. They need them cheap. They need them cheap. Even with a 3rd and 2nd, you might see him. I'm not sure what you mean. Let's see. Ismail Valentin Bean is setting it up for best player on the board. That's exactly what he's doing. He's hedging his bets, and he's making sure that he's not boxed into a corner when pick 28 comes. So knowing the players that we have on his team now, I'd say Curtis Samuel is an upgrade over Gabe Davis. All right. I suggest hitting the start button. Daniel Garis, you are very wise, sir. All right. Start. All right. Hang on, I'm gonna restart this thing because that didn't make any sense to me. I'm gonna check the randomness. Almost standard free for all. Is there like a randomness setting? Nope. Okay. We're rolling with it. Start. Boom. Nope, not like that. All right. We are here at pick 28. We have an offer from the Bengals. They'll give us pick 49, 149, and 194. Y'all can kick boulders on that one. And this is what we have on the board. Yeah, I see that Simulator does not have a randomness setting. All right. So, first round, we have Jackson Powers Johnson, best interior offensive lineman on the board. He's a center. Then Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle from Oklahoma, is on the board. Unless no one else is on the board that we really want, this is how I see us not taking these two guys. Now, if A.D. Mitchell wasn't here, I'd say we'd take one of those two guys, right? If there was no one else, but Xavier Worthy's on the board. Not a really big fan of his. Bo Nix. Let's see what kind of defensive linemen are on the board. Braden Fisk, way too early for him. Devondre Swift, too early for him. I'm hoping that Chris Jenkins is there for us when we go. But Devondre Swift at 28, way too early. And Braden Fisk, way too early. Edge rushers, let's see. Brendan Trice, too early for him. And Chris Braswell. Safeties, Tyler Nubin's on the board, but there's no first-round safeties, in my opinion. Wide receivers, let's see. We know the two Texas boys are there. Lad McConkey, Keon Coleman, Troy Franklin, Roman Wilson. Xavier Legette is 49. I can look to trade back. Let me see what happens if I trade back. Let's see. I can trade back with Arizona. Get back to 35. Or Atlanta. Baltimore, no. Carolina, I like this right here. They have 33 and 39. So that would get me the guys that I would like. Let's see. Okay, 28, 33, 29. Give him 60, 133. Okay, so this would be a scenario where we trade back, but we reduce the number of picks we have. Unless they'll give me like 240. Yep. I'll take that extra late pick. Make it even. Boom, I'm trading back. There we go. Didn't get any extra picks, but yeah. Let's see. We got wide receivers on the board. Xavier Legette. There we go. Here's my big stockpiling on draft pick, guys. Boom. Moving back 4 spots. No, we're rejecting that. Yeah, I'll move back for 1 pick for that. Boom. Man, everybody wants to move back. No. No. Absolutely not. No. Let's see. So you trade back without getting more picks because you, like, I gave up 28 for 30. 3, but then I gave them 60, and they gave me 37 or 39. 39, right? So I moved back 1 pick, and I moved up a lot with the 2nd pick. So that way I can get the wide receiver that we want, but also get the defensive tackle that we want. So I moved back with my first overall pick to the 2nd round, but then that's 60, I moved up to 39. And then gave them a 7th, and they gave me a 5th, something like that. So they gave me a 7th, and I gave them a 5th. All right, this one moved back. Oof, I like that one. Rejecting that one, and I'm taking the Houston one. 1, 2. Nope. I'm done trading back. All players on the board. I've got picks 39 and 42. And I'm taking our wide receiver here. Xavier Legette, hang on. And damn it, Devondre Sweat went. He went right before I traded the pick that was him. Son of a. Okay. Best player available then. Lost out on Sweat. I'm taking Tyler Nubin. Safety. That's what I get. That's what I get. You're right, Roy. You were correct. That's what I get. Now, I'm on the board again. And now I go and get Xavier Legette. Bam. So got a safety and a wide receiver. Hedge our bets. Oh, we got a receiver. We got a receiver. Xavier Legette is that dude in the 2nd round. He's that dude in the 2nd round. I promise you that. Now, we go to all players available. Running back, we got another safety, wide receiver, interior offensive line. What the hell? I didn't draft anybody. What the hell? Reject. Oh, shoot. 105 was my next pick. Never mind. All right, so we have another safety, Kalen Bullock, edge rusher, Brandon Dorless. I think I'm going to go to the other website after this one, because this one I can't look at their draft profiles. So I'm just taking the best edge rusher on the board. Boom. There we go. We are moving. Our next pick is at 127, and then we have a lot of picks in a row. No, sir, we are not trading back. There's a defensive tackle right there that I'm taking. And that's Leonard Taylor from Miami. Boom. Nope. I have enough draft picks. We are good here. Ooh. We'll come back to that one. Nope. 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 I'll take that one, though. See what we got. Nope, we're rejecting that. And how many picks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So, yeah, we're doing my strategy here and seeing what happens. I like what you're thinking right here. Won't have to reach if Thomas isn't there. There's still Franklin, Mitchell, and Legette. I take all in the first. I wouldn't take Legette in the first. Franklin and Mitchell, I would. However, the trade back for Legette, very enticing. Very enticing. You know, I'm potentially inclined to change my mind on Legette, though. We'll see what happens going forward, because maybe that 50-year option is a little enticing. The Bill say, to hell with it. All right, so on the board now, we have already taken safety, wide receiver, edge rusher, D-line. That's all in the first 4 rounds. We have a linebacker on the board, corners galore, a couple linebackers, and we lost Trey White. So we also lost Tyrell Dodson, but we picked up Nick Moreau, Dorian Williams. As of right now at linebacker, we have Milano, Bernard, Moreau, Williams, Spector. We are in the market for another linebacker. We're also in the market for a running back, and we're also in the market for a corner. Best player available right now is the linebacker, so that's where we're going. Nope, rejecting it. Get out of here. No, my picks. And then we'll get the corner. And this is why I'm pro trade back. Fill the roster up. All different positions. Where's my next pick? 160. Nope. 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 No. And no. All right. Let's say I hate to say it, but you never know what's going to happen when Milano, the injury has with that bone chip. I looked up the injury. He's never going to be himself. He's always going to have pain in that leg. You know, probably true, but he's a worker, and he lives and breathes football. He lives and breathes football. So I'm with you there, and I'm praying for him to improve. All right, so we have now taken wide receiver, safety, edge rusher, D-line, linebacker, corner. This has been a defense-heavy draft class thus far. And now I'm going with my running back, Ray Davis, from the University of Kentucky. 3 offers for his next pick. They can all take that one. All a bunch of safeties right here in corners. I don't need any of that. No. And Patriots can kick rocks too. So we have corner on the ticket. We have one safety that we drafted already. And I love Sione Vaki. Love Sione Vaki at corner. Or at safety, excuse me. Safety. So I'm doubling down at safety and taking Sione Vaki. We're on the board again already. That's what I'm talking about right there. So now we have linebackers, corners, safeties. Interior offensive lineman is the spot that I think we can go. Well, here we go. That's a good point. If players can come back from neck fusion procedures, I'm sure Milano will be fine. I think he will be too. Pain is going to be an issue that he deals with, and he'll tolerate it as long as he can on the football field. I'm praying for Matt Milano's health and well-being. Isaiah Adams, I like him. He's got center and guard flex. Tanner Bartoloni. If we did not pick up Will Clapp, my pick here would be Tanner Bartoloni. But because we did, going with Isaiah Adams. The Jets can kick rocks. Bye. Your draft picks next year do nothing for me. Go away. Nope. The Patriots. Nope. All right. We have another linebacker on the board. Corner. Tight end. I wouldn't mind grabbing another tight end. Compete with Quentin Morris for tight end 3. So that's what we'll do. No. Reject. All right. There's a lot of good players on the board here. And these guys aren't going anywhere anytime soon because I'm picking so often now. And I love it. And so what do we need? Because now I've got everything I really wanted. If Senator Bartoloni from Wisconsin is available, grab him. Can also play guard, and Wisconsin O-linemen usually are great in the NFL. Is he still there? Yep, sure is. Cool. Boom. Drafted a center and a guard. Reject, reject. Let's close that. Thank you. All right, so we got a wide receiver, safety, edge rusher, D-line, linebacker, corner, running back, doubled on safety, 2 interior offensive linemen, a tight end. Let's look back at the defensive tackle market. We're at pick 189. Defensive tackle Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa is there. Edge rushers, Jalix Hunt is still there. Holy crap, okay. Miles Cole is still there. Houston Baptist. I've seen this guy before. That school name really reminds me. Hey! Someone must be at my door. Drafting the defensive end. There we go. So double down on defensive end. Reject. Reject. We're looking at wide receiver next. So wide receiver, Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint, Zaquan Jackson from Tulane, Cornelius Johnson from Michigan, Drake Stoops. So there's not a lot of wide receivers left here, but Georgia wide receivers are always tempting. Always, always, always tempting. So we're going to go with Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. Reject. 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 All right. Let's look at the best guys on the board right now. We have running back, linebacker, tight end, defensive end. How many defensive ends did we carry last year? We carried Von Miller, Greg Rousseau. We carried Kingsley Jonathan, Shaq Lawson, AJ Panessa. I feel like I'm missing somebody. We carried 5. Let's see. Dylan Johnson from Washington, big back, taking him now. Doubling up at running back. At this point, it's whatever best player available is or most likely to make your team. So I've been looking at quarterbacks. And this Joe Milton kid has a rocket arm, very raw prospect. I think that he is a player that can potentially be a long-term backup for Josh Allen once we're done with the Mitchell Trubisky experiment. Joe Milton, you're a Buffalo Bill. Now, we haven't drafted a tackle, right? And we don't have a lot of tackles. Well, let's look at tackle real quick. We draft again at 225. And Julian Pearl from Illinois is there. Frank Crum from Wyoming is there. The value for Pearl is way too high for me to ignore here. Let's see who else is on the board. Running back, safety, running back, edge, interior offensive lineman. Done enough damage to interior offensive lineman. We drafted a center. We drafted a guard. And now we're going to take a offensive tackle to help fill out our roster, because that was the point of getting all these picks, filling out the roster. Who's on the board now? Running back Isaiah Davis from South Dakota State. I like him a lot. Did I already take 2 running backs? Took Ray Davis and Dylan Johnson. Yep, sorry. These guys don't want me to take 3 running backs, so we're not going to do 3 running backs. Let's see. Linebacker. Punter. Let's see what's out there. Punter. I'm probably going to take a punter later in the draft. I was unimpressed by what we had on the roster, and I'm unimpressed with Matt Hawk. D-line. Christian Boyd, Northern Iowa, getting another defensive tackle. Let's go. We are in round 7. Don't shoot at the wall until it sticks, right? Going with J.D. Bertrand, linebacker. Nope. Well, I got 3 picks in a row. Okay, I can do whatever I want here. We'll go edge. We'll go O-line. And we're going to go linebacker. Filling out this roster and practice squad. So I already drafted a quarterback, Roy. I drafted Milton from Tennessee. I drafted Milton. So if I go back to over here, Joe Milton, quarterback, Tennessee, at 204, I drafted him. So again, the Kansas City Chiefs get a good player because Buffalo don't do their homework. The punt god is now Kansas City. He's been in Kansas City. They signed him a while ago. Oh, okay. You might be complaining because I mentioned a punter. I gotcha. Yeah. Well, it's not because Buffalo. It's, the situation was what it was. Last few picks, linebacker, interior offensive line. You know what? We only drafted one corner. I'm taking Dwight McGlothern from Arkansas. Draft is complete. Saving the draft. And this is my draft. So now we're going to do one that you guys want. We'll look for trade ups if you guys want. If you guys want to do something crazy, like trade up to freaking 15 to try and go get Brian Thomas or somebody up there, cool. But we're about to do this. No long snapper. Yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry. All right. So in my draft, where we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 picks. The roster's full. And we can get young again. Highlighted by Tyler Nubin, Xavier Legette, Brandon Dorless, and Leonard Taylor. Sleepers I see on this team that I drafted are Ray Davis, Sione Vaki, and Tanner Bartolini. Also Dylan Johnson, running back. Joe Milton, the quarterback, in round 7 or 6. I like that. And then Christian Boyd from Northern Iowa, defensive end, I think has some potential. Not so productive in college, but I think he's got potential. Also, the last pick I picked, Dwight McGlothern. I almost said Connor McGovern. Oof. Let's go. There you go, Roy. I like the positivity. I just drafted a UFL team. You damn right, baby. It's getting cold in here. Izzy's big butt knocking stuff over. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now, this draft coming up is for you guys. We're going to do it with that other software. Because this one, I can't get insight on the players, and you guys may want some insight on the players. So we're going to do this way. And I can see here, and you guys can see there, and I don't have to go back and forth. We damn near drafted a whole new team. Look, it was 21, 22 players I drafted. So, yeah, you could start. Yeah, you could definitely play a full game and have a full defense and full offense. The thing is, you'd have to find somebody who can kick and punt. But other than that, yeah. All right, going Bills. We're turning the randoms down to 1 because I want this to be realistic for you guys. And here we go. We're going to enter the draft. Actually, hang on before we do this. Let me see if I can't get back that draft. I sure can. Copy. I'm saving them both. Ridiculously long drafts or ridiculously large drafts. All right, random 1 using the standard Jimmy Johnson trade chart. Enter draft. Spin, I love your point. I haven't seen you all show, and here you are. You don't need a punter if you don't punt. Damn right. Receiver's still going to be there in round 1 for the Bills. I think so. I do think so, but you just never know, right? You never know because some team like the Chiefs may say, we don't need a whole lot. We're going to go ahead and trade up. What did they get for L'Jarius Sneed, by the way? I know they traded L'Jarius Sneed, right? Yes. Wrong one. You didn't know there was a show Spin every Sunday. Every Sunday, 7 p.m. If you don't see a schedule, no show. But every Sunday, 7 p.m. I'm gonna look up this Legarius Sneed real quick to see if they finalize that trade. Chiefs set the trade. Okay, so it's not official yet. Let's see. They agreed to part ways. Just need to look this up real quick because if they're sending him to the Titans, but I didn't see what the compensation was. Let's see. The Chiefs are expected to receive a 2025 third-round pick in addition to a 2024 seventh-round pick. Swap. Wow. Well, I guess they got something for him because they couldn't afford to pay him, maybe? That Mahomes money kicking in and hurting feelings? So, yeah. All right. I'll buy it. It was a third next year and then a seventh this year. So, good for them. But we're going to get ready to start this draft, guys. I'm going to stop after the 10th overall pick to see what has happened. And from there, we'll look at trades if you guys want. So, starting the draft. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. This feels pretty realistic so far, other than the Jets pick. So, Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, Drake May, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Brock Bowers, Olumuyiwa Fashanu to the Titans. Jaden Daniels goes to the Falcons. That makes sense. Have him behind Kirk Cousins for 3 years, and then you can do what the Packers do every single time they draft a quarterback and have him sit for 3 to 4 years behind a starter, and then give him a year and see if he learned anything. And if not, then so be it. That would be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant on their part. Roma Dunze to the Bears. That makes total sense. I think most mock drafts have them taking Caleb Williams and then drafting a Roma Dunze or another weapon for rookie quarterback. But then the Jets take Michael Penix Jr. That's crazy. Let me see if I can adjust the speed. Nope, can't. We're already in it. All right, so we're going to take it to 15, 12, 13, 14, 15. Defensive lineman coming off the board. So 11, Jarzon Newton or Johnny Newton. Then Leatu Latu, Jared Verse, Byron Murphy, and then J.C. Latham. Who's looking for a potential move up? Move to 16 with Seattle. They're looking at tight end, guard, center, or let's see. Bills currently have 16. No trade up. Okay. Taking it to 20. See who's still on the board, right? Because on the board right now at wide receiver, Brian Thomas, A.D. Mitchell, Troy Franklin, Ladd McConkey, Xavier Legette. Now, they're all bunched up here between 27 and 38. Ryan Thompson Jr. Who's that? Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. All right. I have a feeling he's probably not going to be there because he's the next wide receiver on the board, even though he's at 27 and we drafted 28. So we're going to see. Who did the Cardinals take? They took Malik Neighbors. If they took him and Brian Thomas, that'd be crazy. All right, move to 20. Quinyon Mitchell, Dallas Turner, Talise Fuaga, Graham Barton, Terrion Arnold. Anybody looking for a move up here at 21? It's the Dolphins, so we're going to go ahead and skip that pick. And they took the cornerback Nate Wiggins, which makes sense because they let go of Xavier Howard, Amarius Mims. Then we have the Vikings on the board here. Did they pick earlier too? They did. They took Jerson Newton. Quarterbacks on the board. They could probably take J.J. McCarthy or Bo Nix. I could see them going quarterback here. I see a move up. So Bills will definitely trade up to grab a wide receiver. Okay, so let's see where we're trading up to. That's the question, and how much we're going to have to give up. All right, so Cowboys and the Falcons, or Cowboys and the Vikings, I don't see taking wide receivers. So let's go ahead and skip those two. 1, 2. And I was correct. They took Troy Fautanu and Kool-Aid McKinstry. The Packers is where Brian Thomas is probably going, unless they go offensive lineman Tyler Guyton, which is possible. But I think that they probably go wide receiver here. So we can look to trade up with them and see what they want for that pick. So we give up 28 and 128. And Minnesota. They accept it. If we offer them 28 and 128. Okay. What say you guys? Okay, you guys just offer. Okay, so we take off 128. 134. They still accept that. 144. They still accept that. 160. Let's see if they take that. They still accept it. So I can give them our 1st and 5th round picks. Oh yeah, you're right. I do have the wrong pick. I need to trade with Green Bay. Good call, bro. Good call, because I'd have screwed that right up. Green Bay, where are you? For some reason, they have the teams' names, but they're arranged in order of the city name. Packers, there we go. Move to 25. Adjust offer. It's a 50-50 shot that they take what I'm offering here. So let's see if I entice them with 134. And then offer them from next year a 4th. Boom. So offer them that trade and see. Send 28 and a 4th round pick. And then another 4th next year. Trade accepted. So we're getting whatever wide receiver we want. See, they're offering us Oprah Winfrey and a slew of picks. Nope. I'm trying to get your pick back. Nope. 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 Okay, cool. Rejecting all of that. Who are we drafting? That's the question. I'm guessing it's Brian Thomas Jr. Who we taking, guys? I moved up just for a wide receiver, just for y'all. You guys want Brian Thomas Jr. The people have spoken, it looks like. I'll see you guys in the comments. I'm just giving some time so that way everybody can chime in a little bit. I'm seeing plenty. All right, here we go. Taking Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU. At pick 25, which we moved up for. Now we have 10 picks in this draft. I don't know if he doesn't or does. It really depends on the value of those offensive linemen and the quarterbacks. I think there's going to be a lot more quarterbacks going in the first round this year than people think. It's going to drive more talent down. Because I think the first 3 picks are going to be actually quarterbacks. I think it's going to be Caleb Williams. Then I think it's going to be Drake May. Then I think it's going to be either Marvin Harrison Jr. or Jaden Daniels. I think the Patriots take Marvin Harrison Jr., right? You want to build a team so that way a quarterback can come to a team that has something to play with, right? So you go get Marvin Harrison Jr., and then later in the first round when they draft, you take your quarterback, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, whoever's there. We have some trade offers here. So it's our second round pick. We can move back to 3 and get a 4th back and a 5th. Nope, that's next year's 5th. And then get a guard from the Patriots, City So. I'm not against trading with the Patriots, but, Chargers offer us a 5th and a 3rd next year and a tackle, Andrew Traynor. Seahawks offer us a 3rd round pick this year, a 4th round pick here, 2 4th round picks in the 3rd this year to move off of 60. You guys let me know if you guys are down to trade back, because these are trade back offers. I'm seeing a lot of, I don't think he'll be there at 25. To be fair, right? I don't think so either. However, it's a mock draft, so you take who's there. All right, so we have 2 trade back offers that look kind of sweet. 81, 102, and 118 for 60. We move back to the 3rd round at 70 and then get a 3rd next year. No, we're not doing all that. It's pointless. So the best one looks like the Patriots offer. We move back 8 spots and then get a 4th round pick. To me, that makes total sense. And then the Seattle Seahawks offer also makes total sense. But I think I like the Patriots one more because it doesn't take us back too far. Who's still on the board? Very, very, very good question. Minimize that. I like this one because I can minimize it, come back. So everybody's on the board. Xavier Worthy is still there. Linebacker, Ricky Pearsall, Kingsley Suamatu, tackle. Cam Kitchens is still here. Christian Haynes, guard from Connecticut. Defensive line, let's see who's here. Rook or Rororo is here. I do like him. He's a good player. He is smaller, though. He's like Ed Oliver. Not quite. 6'4", 294. 5 sacks. His grading, tackling is 76, pass rush is 71, run defense is an 80. Well built with great functional strength and quickness, enabling consistent disruption. I like him. All right, so there's no sense in accepting picks from 2025 in a mock draft. That's true. However, it's not just about those picks. It's about the ones that you would get this year. So you'll be trading 1 pick at 60 to fall back to 80, but then you get 2 more picks this year in the 4th round. So you'll be trading a 2nd for a 3rd and 2 4ths. I'm not worried about the other picks. The other picks don't really concern me. And I know they don't concern you either. You're like, F them picks, but let's see. So the guys that I would look at right here are Rook or Rororo, Cam Kitchens, and that's about it. It'd be between the safety and the defensive tackle. Something's going on here. Just saying, usually. Okay, those trades are gone. Kitchens. Okay, so I'm seeing Kitchens. It's really between Kitchens and Orororo. So Rukaroro from Clemson, defensive tackle. I like him, but I also like the safety here. Best player available between safety and so Kinchins is 64, and Ororo, Yep. Okay. If I go all players available, Xavier Worthy's on the board. Peyton Wilson, linebacker from North Carolina State. Ricky Pearsall, Kinchins, and then Aurora's down here. So Kinchins would be the best according to this here. But to me, we're at 60. We're looking at drafting the 64th ranked or the 68th ranked player. And says the Worthy pick looks juicy. Look, man, I like it, but at the same time, the Bills have needs. They have needs. So he said that the Bills still need another defensive tackle. That's true. They do need another defense. Here's my thing. This draft is far deeper at safety than it is defensive tackle. When I look at the safeties, excuse me, you have Cam Kinchins. Not a huge fan of Bernardo Green, but I like him. And Kalen Bullock is probably my favorite one after Tyler Nubin. Says I would take the trade. I'm trying to find where the trade is. Usually it's right up here. It says, trade, open up trade offers. Yeah, I know I'm on the clock, man. But I can't find where that trade thing is. I did minimize it though. That's what. So I hit minimize. I didn't hit reject all. I hit minimize. So I don't know why it's not here. Select your team. No, we're not doing all that. Make a trade. Yeah, we're stuck right here, man. I can't see it. So let's see. Try something dumb. I didn't hit the X. I hit the minimize thing. It's in the top right corner. Let me see if I can't make that trade manually. Select the team. It was the Seahawks. So we trade from 60. Seattle, where you at? Okay, so they wanted to give us 81, 102, and 118. This is what they offered, so I'm going to see if we can't get it. Hit Alt F4 and hold it. All right. Alt F4. What the hell? Oh, you're an asshole. Control. That's two different things, man. All right, we're starting that over. Jesus. Sorry, guys. I listened to people. Oh, Lord have mercy. Thanks, Spin. Appreciate it. Jerk move. All right. NFL. Draft Buzz. Load it back up. Luckily, we only got through our first pick, so yeah. Jesus. Another popular one today. Setting. Oh. Present. Screen. Here we go. No, it asks me if I wanted to shut it down. That's mean. Now I know. Don't listen to Spin anymore. He's a trickster. Anyway, it's going to go a little faster now. Dropping this to 25 seconds per round. Bills. Randomness down. Enter draft. We're stopping right around 20. This went very different. Okay, guys on the board. Wide receivers: Brian Thomas, Adonai Mitchell, Troy Franklin. Same guys. Defensive tackles: Darius Robinson, Tavondre Sweat. Nope. Edge rushers: Darius Robin, Chris Braswell. Okay, we're gonna go to try and trade with Dallas. Okay, we'll give him 28. Make a trade. 28. Freaking Cowboys. We want 24. Adjust offer. We give you 28, 44, and next year's 4th. We're at 24 now this time, guys. Hey, yo, I'm seeing a bunch of guys here. You're welcome. I extended the stream a little longer. I'm trying to get something to eat, man. You messing with me. I love you, Spin. It's cool. It's cool. I don't blame you for playing tricks on people. I'm a practical joker as well. See, the Lions are offering us to move back to give us John Kaminsky, a defensive end. That's actually kind of enticing. So we can get a third rounder back, get a defensive end in John Kaminsky, and the 29th overall pick. Oof. Thing is, we know someone's going to take. So if I go here and minimize, see what the next offer is. Seahawks, previous offer. Minimize. There it is right there. See right there? That's what it's supposed to do. Now, if I go to here, the Packers need a wide receiver. And that's it. So we could probably still get 80 Mitchell there, but we moved up to get this wide receiver. If I pull that trade I just talked about again, maybe I could pull. You know what? You might be right. Let me see. So if I take the Lions trade, so I get a defensive end, meaning I don't necessarily have to draft one. The Cardinals take Harrison or Neighbors. Let me see. Cardinals took Neighbors. Harrison went first overall to the Bears. This was very stupid, but so I can get Kaminsky a third and move back, but then I could probably move back up again. I'm gonna give that a shot. And you know what? I give him a 4th. You know what? I'm gonna accept it. Or what do you guys say, man? Give me some stuff in the comments. Okay, there we go. I see you spin, or Roy. I see you. We're gonna reject it. Boom. And we're taking wide receiver Brian Thomas. Boom. You guys got me thinking too hard about it. So Tavondre Sweat is still on the board here at 50. You guys want to try and go after? I don't think we need Tavondre Sweat. We picked up a 1 tech now. Who else is on the board? DB, TJ Tampa, DJ James, Cameron Kinchins. There we go. Spin. I like it. Okay. Continue the draft. Let's see. All right, we're on the clock at 60. TJ Tampa's there. Xavier Worthy. Brilliant Trice. That's interesting. Brilliant Trice, defensive end from Washington. That's a player I really like. Cameron Kinchins is on the board. And defensive tackle Rook Ororo is still there. So we now have 3 guys. No, Sweat is not here. That's what I was saying. We could trade up for him after we traded and got Brian Thomas. We could have traded up for him too. But, then you were the smarty poo. So the guy I like at this spot is Braylon Trice, Rukaroro, and Cameron Kitchens. 3 really good players. I'm seeing Kitchens a lot in the comments. Again, this draft is loaded with safeties and not necessarily with edge rushers or defensive tackles, but I'm seeing a lot of Kitchens. I'm seeing Aurora now. We'll give you all another 15 seconds. If it is the way it is right now, then it's Kitchens. It's 2-1 right now. Spin and RC. This is part of the draft where you're supposed to hit control alt. Shut up. Kitchens is overrated. Okay. So I'm seeing 2 that I'm basically taking as Aurora or Trice. I need to know who you want, Roy. Do you want Trice or Aurora? I like Trice, straight bull rusher. I like Trice too. That's why I'm even saying anything about it. Roy Collins, take the edge. I'm good with Kitchens, and I'm also good at defensive line, or maybe trade back. It's up to y'all. I like Rook. Upside, he's very powerful. Trice. So it's 3 Trice. I'm seeing 3 Trice, 2 Aurora, and 2 Kitchens. So we're going to go ahead and take Braylon Trice, defensive lineman out of Washington. Let's look at his size real quick. He is 6'4", 245, 7 sacks this year. His pass rush grade is a 93. Yes, sir. Braylon Trice it is. There we go. All right. We are not up again to 128. That's fine. I just hope that my guy is still there. Okay, we are at pick 91 now. My favorite safety in this draft is here, Kalen Bullock from USC. But this isn't my draft. This is your draft. Negative. He's about the size of Von Miller. Not small. Not for a 4-3 end. If this was a 3-4, then yeah, defensive end, he's way too small. But in that system, he'd be playing linebacker, like Parsons. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to minimize this and see who's available. DB. Safety, Bo Braid is available. I like Bo Braid. And I like Sione Vaki. Their value is... Bo Braid's value is fine here. Sione Vaki is a little too far gone. Defensive line, Mohamed Kamara. He'd be small for the defensive tackle, but 248 is edge rusher. Defensive tackle. Give me a see. They're down the line. Yeah, we're not going to defensive tackle anytime soon here. Wide receiver, if we want to double down, Johnny Wilson's here. Jamari Thrash, Aeneas Smith, Anthony Gold. Offensive line, Blake Fisher. There's OT, Satoa, Laumea, Christian Jones from Texas. I like him. Plays right tackle. We just paid Deion Dawkins, so I don't know if they can be able to pay him and Spencer Brown. That's also not my problem. That's the Bills' problem. So, tight end, no linebackers. We have Tommy Eichenberg on the board. Yeah, this is definitely a spot for a trade. James Williams from Miami, you're talking. Let me see. James Williams. Tyke Smith from Georgia. I do like him a lot too. Malik Mustafa from Wake Forest. I like him. I think James Williams is already off the board, buddy. He's already gone. Both Miami safeties are gone. So I don't like double dipping early on wide receiver. We got Samuel and just drafted BJR. Wait until round 6 or 7. I like how you're thinking, Spin. Let's see if there's a trade back offer. There wasn't a trade offer. Okay, so we're taking BPA at a player of need. This is round 4. Let's see what Josh Newton's about. 5'11", 190, one interception, one interception. Coverage grade 85. Shao Smith Wade, Jamari Thrash. It's Christopher Haynes on the board, OG from UConn. Let's see. Oh, well. Where till I get my hands on you? I'm not seeing him. Nope, not available. He's gone. All right, I like linebacker, James. Nope. All right. We could use another tackle. We could use another corner. And a 4.54. His coverage grade is 83. Josh Newton. And a 4.51. Coverage grade 85. I'll take the corner, I guess. You guys thinking corner? Corner it is. All right. So we've got wide receiver, defensive end, corner. Next pick on the board, DB. And 160. Okay. Right to all. Now I like the tackle from Texas. Christian Jones. He's a right tackle. Coincides perfectly with Spencer Brown's contract. Just in case. Boom. Taking the tackle. All right. 160. This is where we should get our safety. Sione Vaki from Utah. Very outstanding player. Let's hope he's still there. And he's not. I'm not a fan of Kitan Oladapo from Oregon State. He's a slot guy. He's not really a safety. He's a box safety. That would not mesh necessarily well, having Taylor Rapp already on the team. He'd be more of a Rapp replacement. But Malik Mustafa, 5'10", 209, one interception, ran a 4.33 40. That's a guy who can cover deep. Coverage skills, 71. Run defense, he excels in that, so he's kind of a box guy too. But he's got the speed to cover deep, and that's why I like him. I see Mustafa already. You guys already talking about him. What's left at running back? Let's see. Okay. We pick at 160 and 163, so we can look at running back too, yeah. Running back. Dylan Laub from New Hampshire. He's a big old I'm gonna say it. He's a big old, not big, but he's a pretty fast, strong running back from New Hampshire. I saw him at the draft. He looked comfortable running his drills, but he doesn't break tackles very well. He's got good hands, though. So if you want a receiving back, that's him. Then you have Dylan Johnson, running back from Washington. But these guys are 67. All picks. Luke McCaffrey's out there. I like him as a prospect. And you guys did say later on, ran a 4.46 40. He had 71 receptions for 992 yards, 13 touchdowns, average of 14 yards per reception. I like him. I'm seeing take Mustafa. Go safety here. Okay, we're taking the safety. Malik Mustafa, Wake Forest. And it's us again. And nothing that we really wanted came off the board. Tracy from wide receiver from Purdue came off the board. Jordan Travis, quarterback from Florida State, came off the board. Anything that we want. Luke McCaffrey, Dylan Laub, Dwight McGlothern, cornerback from Arkansas. Walter Rouse, offensive tackle, still on the board. We don't need a tackle. We just drafted one. Marist Liafu, if we wanted to go for a linebacker on the board. Good solid linebacker. Also running back Dylan Johnson on the board. Yeah, he's not a safety though. He's a cornerback. You're talking about DeJean from Iowa. Is there a center in play? Let's look and see if there's a center in play. So I see you take Loafu. I like that. Let's look at the centers. There's guard. No, there's no centers in place. The next center in place is at 187, and we're at pick 163. And I'm seeing take the linebacker. I like the linebacker. Where is he at? Marist Liafu. Let's look at his profile real quick. He's 6'2", 234, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 44 tackles. His tackling grade is kind of crap. His coverage grade is really, really good, though. Anybody else have an opinion on this? All right, taking the linebacker. All right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more picks. Four more picks. 189, 200, 204, and 248. See what defensive tackles are on the board. There we go. We are on the clock, and there's a defensive tackle from Auburn here named Justin Rogers. Let's take a look at his profile real quick because we haven't drafted a DT yet. He's got 1 sack. He's 6'2", 330 pounds. That's a beefcake right there. Tackling 71, pass rush 66, run defense 73. ESPN grades of 4 stars. 24/7 Sports 4 stars, and Rivals.com 5 stars. Like I said, that was when he came out of high school or whatever, unless it's his grade now. He was a 4-star recruit by ESPN. Wide base, low center of gravity to hold his ground, as well as the upper body strength to shed blockers. Let's see. Fits our defense. We can cover but not tackle. Yeah, I agree. So we have the defensive tackle. He is ranked 193. That's about where we're at on the board. Wide receiver Isaiah Williams. Did we take a running back? We did not take a running back. Cornelius Johnson, wide receiver from Michigan. Taj Washington, wide receiver from USC. MJ Devonshire. Justin Rogers. O-line, let's see what we got there. OT center. So Drake Nugent from Michigan is on the board. What do you guys think? Okay, big boy, he'll do. I see that. Anybody else got some? You know what? Spin, that's a good point. He doesn't need to tackle if he covers good enough. It's a good point. Also, linebacker number still Chambers, but we're looking at the D-line. Justin Rogers, big fat bastard. Whoa. I want my baby back ribs. Chili's baby back ribs. All right. I saw Michigan go with that player. Talk about Jalen Harrell right here. Is that what you're talking about, Joey? Defensive end, Michigan. So just profile real quick while you answer. 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 30 tackles, 15 solo. Pass rush grade of an 85. Wow, this late in the draft. Tackling grade 68, run defense 75. This guy sounds like a good guy to pick up. Then you double down at defensive end. Still need a 3-tech. Well, I can't promise we find one of those. Keith Randolph Jr. is a 3-tech. 6'4", 296 from Illinois. 1.5 sacks. Pass rush grade 66. Run defense 70. So if you need a 3-tech and you want one here, this is where he's at. We are at pick 200 though. We could pick him at our next pick. I don't think that Jared Harrell, the defensive end there, is going to be there. Well, he might. Let's see. All players still left. Wide receiver. So if you guys want to double at wide receiver, this is the spot to do it. Isaiah Williams from Illinois is still there. He is 5'9", 182. He ran a 4.63. Never freaking mind. Jesus. Slow ass. Cornelius Johnson. 6'3", 212. Ooh, boy's got some size. From Greenwich, Connecticut. He had 579 yards, one receiving touchdown. Outside X receiver. So that's his role. I didn't even realize that was even there. He ran a 4.4 40. Hands are suspect. This is what, the 6th round? Yeah, this is the 6th round. OPPD. I don't know what that means. The Bills take Sweat over under a number of times. We use him as a fullback in the goal line offense. Let's see. There's a lot of wide receivers here. There's a quarterback, Joe Milton III. Offensive tackle, Jalen Ford. I like him at linebacker. Defensive end. Corner. Boyd, if he's there. Guy on a 30. Which Boyd? I'm not seeing a Boyd. Not at this pick. Power running back. Okay, let's look at running backs. Frank Gore Jr. is there. He's not a power running back. Meion Williams from Ohio State. He's there. He's 5'8", 229. He's going to be a power back. But I would draft him later in the draft. I wouldn't draft him now. He would be a guy I take last at 248. Kimani Vidal, 5'8", 213. This guy ran a 4.46. That's impressive. Mian Williams ran a 4.55 for that size. That's pretty impressive too. Notre Dame running back would be nice. He's already gone. Cooper DeJean. Is that Frank Gore's son? Yes, it is. That is Frank Gore's son. Frank Gore Jr. He is 5'8", 201. He ran a 4.5 flat. Breaks tackles, 71. Rushing, 82. He had 1,131 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, 27 receptions. Not bad. Take the 3 tech. Okay. Take the 3 tech. Defensive line. Keith Randall Jr., I believe that was him. Yep, that's him. Drafted. We took 2 defensive linemen in a row. Giants can kick rocks. Lions can kick rocks too. We're drafting. All right, so we have him. Let's see, D-line. Who else is on the board now? Javante Jean-Baptiste. Edge. He had 5 sacks for Notre Dame. He's from Spring Valley, New York, so he might want to come home. And a 4.66. He is 6'5", 239. He's a little undersized. Running back, Frank Gore Jr. still on the board. QB, Joe Milton's on the board. Wide receiver, Isaiah Williams, Cornelius Johnson. Taj Washington is a interesting guy, interesting candidate. 5'10", 174, smaller guy. He had 59 receptions at 1,062 yards, 8 touchdowns, and his average reception garnered 18 yards. Tells me he's a yak guy. So as a yak guy, he runs a 4.43. He's a multi-role receiver. Hands are good at 81. Short receiving, 86. Intermediate routes, 87. Deep threat, 90%. So this is a deep threat right here at wide receiver. I also asked to look at interior offensive line and tackle. There's one center left. He's a later in a round guy. Yeah, there's not. Boyd. Yeah, he's probably already gone, man. Let's see. 4F. Yeah, he went to the Steelers in round 6. We're in round 7 already. That ship hath sailed. Oh, no, we're still in round 6. Never mind. So here we are. If it's me, I go Taj Washington, wide receiver, or you could double dip at safety and get Oregon's Evan Williams, or Javante Jean-Baptiste is too small for me. Gabe Hall from Baylor, 6'6", 291. Did we hit safety and corner? We did hit safety and cornerback. So early in the draft, round 4, 128, we picked Josh Newton from TCU. And then in round 5 at 160, we picked Malik Mustafa at safety. You'd rather double dip at safety, but there's not really one on the board right now. Evan Williams from Oregon. I mentioned him, and I forgot that I even mentioned him. 82 tackles. He is a man zone slot nickel safety, so he's not really a safety that we're looking for like that. 4.6. Coverage grade, not bad. 74. Not bad. Let's see if there's another safety here. Dominique Hampton from Washington. I've heard of him. 2 interceptions, 6'2", 215, big boy. Zone free safety. Here it is. Here it is, right here. It's the 7th round, so no one cares. Double dipping at safety. And the last pick of the draft will probably be a running back. And if it's me, I go Meion Williams. Meion Williams from, I don't know, this Marshall. 5 foot, no, that's the wrong guy. I knew it was the wrong guy. There we go. Ohio State. Meion Williams. 5'8", 229, ran a 4.55 40. Rushing 80%, breaking tackle 69%. He's just a big back. That's who I would take at 253 or 248. It's the running back. Let's see who else is available. Maybe there's a steal. Tavion Robinson from Kentucky. Remember last time we took a Kentucky wide receiver in the 7th round? Turned out to be pretty good, Mr. Stevie Johnson. This guy runs a 4.55. How are his hands? His hands are trash. Next, Dijon Anthony, cornerback from Mississippi. Tarheeb Still, offensive tackle. Did we take a tackle? Yeah, we did take a tackle. Corner, safety, Josh Proctor. Just took a safety, though. Bub Means, wide receiver, Pittsburgh. Let's see what he's about. 6'1", 212. 41 receptions, 721 yards, 6 TDs, and a 4.43 outside X receiver. Did we take a receiver yet? We sure did. Brian Thomas Jr. Let's look at his profile real quick. Outside X receiver. Safety Kalen DeLoach from Florida State. 6 foot 210. Man zone box safety, strong safety. Yeah. Jordan Whittington, wide receiver from Texas. 6'1", 205. Slot receiver. I wouldn't mind getting another guy like that. And a 4.47. Take the workhorse back. There we go. I like that. I like that. Here we go. Meion Williams, Ohio State, workhorse back. Or Kimani Vidal ran a 4.46 at 5'8", 213. He had 1,661 yards with 14 touchdowns. It might be this guy. Rushing 85, breaks tackle 68, receiving is garbage. Pass blocking 69. That's good. And Meion Williams ran a 4.55, so 1/10 of a second slower. Breaks tackle 69. Pass blocking 37. Nope. I'm taking Kimani Vidal, the guy who can run the ball and pass block. And there we go. This is our draft, guys. This is our last draft. And then I'm going to go get some food for me and the wife. And now we have to wait for this website to finish. It takes a second. But I think we had a nice productive draft here, guys. Brian Thomas Jr., we moved up to go get our guy. Braylon Trice, very good edge rusher from Washington. Josh Newton, cornerback from TCU, very good player. Christian Jones, offensive tackle from Texas. Now, I like Texas. I like Texas players. He is a projected right tackle. We are in the final year. We're in the final year of Spencer Brown's contract. It might be smart to draft some tackle help. Might be smart to draft some tackle help in order to make sure that we're covered after that. I'm still waiting for this website to finish. Then we went with linebacker safety Malik Mustafa from Wake Forest. I really like his prospects. Very good zone safety. And then Maris Liafu, very good zone linebacker from Notre Dame. Very good draft, guys. This website is being a pain in the butt, so we're going to go ahead and finish it here. Wait. So I'm going to stop sharing it. Hopefully it fixes itself. Guys, it has been my pleasure to be with you guys this evening. Thank you for being here. I see right here, Joey Hatch. You're onto something here. Somebody said he had surgery again this offseason. Yes, Deion Dawkins had mentioned Spencer Brown having surgery this offseason. So it might be time to draft one, fourth, fifth round, like we did in this draft here, fourth round. 1 round after Spencer Brown was drafted, a nice right tackle prospect in Christian Jones from the University of Texas, which I love. I'm not a Texas fan per se, but yeah, I really like that selection there. Guys, it's been my pleasure to be with you guys tonight. Thank you for being part of my show again. It's been 2 hours and 5 minutes. Might be 2:06. Love all you guys for being here with me. God bless you. Go Bills.